I've said it before, I'll say it again. The medical device stocks are the one area of healthcare that's absolutely on fire in this environment where anything and everything drug-related is at risk of getting slammed by the next story about Washington's desire to crack down on higher drug prices. And you know there's always going to be another story. It's election year. That's part of the reason why a stock like ResMed, that's RMD, that's the maker of machines that are used to treat breathing disorders like sleep apnea, which afflict tens of millions of Americans. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, you may know that COPD, has been roaring lately. It's up more than 25% year to date. And it's not just that ResMed belongs to a cohort that's very much in style on the Wall Street fashion show. This is more than a company that makes fancy breathing machines that help you sleep. Lately, ResMed has taken their business to a whole new level by embracing the connectivity revolution. They've embraced a number of cloud-based software applications that help better diagnose, manage, and treat these conditions. In fact, back in February, the company doubled down on software business by acquiring Brightree. That's a leading provider of business management and clinical software applications for the post-acute industry. Care industry, and they bought it for $800 million. It's already paying off. Now, ResMed got hit with a downgrade from Jefferies very recently because of a competition from Philips, but the stock has continued to churn higher, in part because they reported a strong quarter at the end of July, and in part because ResMed is no longer just a maker of sleep apnea machines. They're now a leader in connected care business, a company that's putting the tech back in medical technology. So let's take a closer look with Mick Farrell. He's the CEO of ResMed. To learn more about how his company's doing and where it is headed, Mr. Farrell, welcome to Mad Money.
Hey, Jim. Thanks a lot.
Great to have you, Mick. Thank you so much for coming and see us. Now, I think a lot of people don't realize, one, how big this market is, and two, how you dominate in it, and then three, because of the political environment, how non-invasive ventilation therapy saves the system a lot by stopping rehospitalization.
Absolutely. Look, what we do across the spectrum is we take patients who are sick and in hospital and we put them in the home and we take care of them in the home. And we have portable respiratory devices and home respiratory devices that, with sleep apnea, literally help them breathe every night, give them the gift of breath. And with some of our non-invasive ventilation and life support ventilation systems, we literally give them the gift of breath and they can't breathe on their own.
Well, let's talk about that. Continuous positive airway pressure turns out to be more problematic in terms of what, if you don't have it, the different diseases that you can be getting or it's associated with.
Absolutely. Undiagnosed obstructive sleep apnea can lead to increased portions of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart failure, and worse outcomes in terms of hospitalizations. It also often runs in pairs with some of those disease states. And if we're able to treat the obstructive sleep apnea, we can not only improve the patient's quality of life, we can potentially prevent the chronic disease progression of the others, and really importantly, we save the hospital care and the total healthcare system money while improving patients' lives, millions of patients.
All right, well, Mick, it's your first time on, and I have to tell you, my reservation, we recommended your stock back in 2005. It has tripled. It's one of the first stocks we recommended because we liked it. But what I was concerned about always was the idea of having a huge mask on my face when I go to sleep. Talk to us about that maybe misconception.
It's totally a misconception, Jim. And as you know, having followed us for 10 years, back then the masks were a little larger. These things are now small, and I don't know if you can capture this, but this thing is the size of my finger here, Jim. And these masks are tiny. And I use this personally every night. I sleep on this every night, and it's changed my life. It's saved my job, saved my marriage, saved my life, and we can do that for millions of Americans. There are 40 to 60 million Americans who suffer from obstructive sleep apnea, and right at the moment, we have less than 6 million of them on therapy, 6 million. Well, so 80% of the opportunities in front of us in our core market.
Well, I mentioned to my wife last night that I'm having you on, and that we were looking up the different devices on Amazon to see how much they cost.
Yeah.
And she says, I think you have it. I think you have sleep apnea. And I said,
well,
frankly, I would have no idea if I had it because I'm sleeping. How do we know if we have sleep apnea?
So it's a really important point. In fact, our biggest competitor is ignorance. It's the lack of education and awareness. It's not. It's none of those other players out there. It's ignorance. It's our lack of education and awareness as a general populace. With 60 million patients suffering from this here in the United States of America, only 6 million on treatment. We've got 80, 90% of the opportunity in front of us. We have to get the primary care doctors, we have to get the patients themselves and get them thinking about their care and going and seeing their doctor and asking some of these questions.
All right, but you want to ask about the competition, because last year I went out to Salesforce, to their Dreamforce festival, so to speak. They had Philips as a customer, and they had Philips's connectivity, and they were talking about the cloud. And I'm thinking, well, you've got this big cloud initiative with Brightree. Why is your cloud better than their cloud?
So we are the world's leading tech-driven medical device company. And I say that based on a very specific fact, that we have over 2 million, 100% cloud-connected medical devices on people's bedside tables. We put a communications chip into every single sleep apnea and now ventilator that we sell. We liberate those data to the cloud and we provide them to physicians. Those physicians use the data to provide better care to their patients. We also directly empower patients. We provide data through a cloud-based system called myAir. And this system is able to take patients' data to the cloud. This is my sleep from last night.
Okay.
I only got an 85. Maybe I was a little nervous before I came on the Jim Cramer show.
You should be.
But you're able to take these data and look at it over time, see how you trend over time on Mask Leak. You're also able to look at videos and engage better with your therapy. This system will even email, text, or interactive voice response directly to patients to improve their outcomes.
All right. Well, clearly you do have the technological edge. It's been a great win for our investors over multiple years. I want to thank Mick Farrell, CEO of ResMed, and you can see some of the devices and you know this market's much bigger than most people realize. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.